So, guys, we got a ton of stuff we're going to get into right now. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and break down this week's Nerd News. Check it out. All right, guys, first big nerd news story of the day. It is a brick-and-mortar comic book industry story. You probably heard earlier in the week, Diamond Comics, the distributor who pretty much provides comic books for almost all comic shops nationwide. Well, they announced in a press release that nobody was really expecting that they are ceasing distribution of comic books nationwide until further notice. This was a real bummer, and it got us thinking, what do the local comic book shops think about this, and how are they handling it? So, to cover this story, we figured we'd go right to the source. We'd break social isolation and head on over to our favorite shop, Chicago Comics. We sat down with the manager, Rafael Espinoza. I know a lot of Rafaels. And he sort of broke it down for us. You know, what are shops doing? How are they staying afloat? So, guys, check it out. This is Chicago Comics talking about the new recent health outbreak. Check it out. Rafael, first off, I just want to thank you and Chicago Comics for taking time out of your day to talk to us. Your incredibly busy day.
It's been super busy. Chicago Comics. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been very, very busy. I didn't realize how much more work there would be to get these comics out to customers when we are not open to the public, because there's a lot more of like running around trying to figure out what people want, processing transactions over the phone, just stuff like that, running it out.
Yeah, well, I want to, kind of the purpose of this is we want to sort of set people's mind at ease a little bit. There's been a lot of rumors and stories and stuff, comic book shops closing and shutting their doors temporarily. First question, can you offer any of the details or shine a little light on the statements that came from Diamond Comics about them canceling distribution for a temporary amount of time? Do you have any knowledge of sort of what's going on there?
A lot of that information that was released is really the information that we got. Most shops and publishers didn't even get that memo until after it was released on the news sites. And that's kind of all we know for now.
Can you kind of give us a back story on sort of what exactly Diamond said?
Yeah, so this week, the week of the 25th, was the last week that they were going to ship out new comics. And then they asked publishers to stop sending them their comics for now. So basically everything's at a halt. They did say that for people who are still open, because not everyone is closed at the moment, but major cities are, they can still do reorders. So there's like a warehouse that is still fulfilling those orders. It's just anything that is brand new is just not coming out for now.
Yeah. Have you heard anything from the big publishers? I know like Marvel had their big event that was supposed to come out in April. Yeah. I mean, has there been any press releases or word from the publishers on how they're going to be handling that?
Not yet. I would love to know how that's going to be handled, because whenever this happens, there's going to be several weeks of buildup. So I don't know if they are going to just push everything back by a few weeks or months just to keep on schedule, or if they're just going to flood the markets as soon as everything comes back. I'm not entirely sure. I hope it's not flooding the markets.
Yeah.
But it's not up to me.
So, have you heard anything what comic book shops are doing sort of nationwide and worldwide to kind of keep business going and hopefully keep their doors open, or what they're doing while the doors are shut?
I think every business is doing something a little different. Everyone's trying to work through the same model of curbside pickup, mail orders, online orders, stuff like that. It also depends on where those comic shops are, because there are comic shops that are still running. They're still open to the public. There haven't been any cases in their vicinity. So if you're in a place near that, I would go and support them right away, because they will probably be in the same position that we are in. We are currently closed to the public. We have a shelter in place in the city of Chicago, so we're not allowed to be open to the public, basically. So we've been doing curbside pickup, but since there are no longer new books coming out, we will be refraining from doing curbside pickup and just focusing on mail orders, eBay orders, just stuff like that.
Yeah, well, that perfect segue to my next question. What are some things that people can do to support their comic shop if their comic shop's open, or more importantly, if they're closed right now? What are some ways people can sort of support their LCS and keep business going?
I would go to social media. I would go out there and just tell people how much you love these comic shops. I would go on their websites or call them or email them to contact them to figure out how else you can support them, because I'm sure every comic shop is doing things a little bit different. But yeah, try to support them any way you can. Give them a call, shoot them an email, and try to give them any money if you can spare it.
Yeah. Well, appreciate your time. Just to kind of recap, what's Chicago Comics' current situation? You know, you're doing the curbside thing, and any idea when you might be opening back up?
Honestly, we're waiting for the city to let us know when we can be open to the public again. I think as of right now, it's on April 7th. But there were new rules this week that were implemented to close all the parks. So I feel like there are still changes going on in what we can and cannot do in this city. So until all of that is over and we're open to the public, we will just be focusing on eBay orders and mail orders.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it, guys. Continue to support your local comic shops by doing mail orders. Give them a call. Find out what they're doing to still sell books. I'm sure it's, like you said, it's going to be different at every single shop.
Right.
But keep showing your love, man. Get on social media. Tell people that comic shops are still selling, even if their doors are closed. Raphael, Chicago Comics, thanks a lot for talking to us.
Thank
Really
you.
appreciate it. And we can't wait for your doors to be back open.
Me too.
So, guys, just to recap, guys, your shop, please continue to show support of your local comic shops. Go to social media, go to Facebook. You can still purchase books on eBay. All the shops are really still doing their eBay sales. Now, we're not going to get our weekly pulls because, of course, Diamond Comics is not distributing them, and it appears that Marvel and DC are putting a halt on production until further notice. But you can still buy comic books from these shops' eBay pages, and, of course, if your shop is still open, go support them. Buy some comics from them. I know, like Raphael said, a lot of people are doing curbside pickup, so you can maybe call them in advance. Get a list of books. What we did is we just called them up and said, hey, I know there's no books this week, but just give us some stuff that you think is cool. So little bits like that will go a long way in keeping these brick-and-mortar comic book shops open. Let us know in the comment section what you think, what's going on at your local comic book shop, and share it, because we really want to get the word out and help these shops out. So next big nerd news story of the week, guys. This was supposed to be my silver lining story of the week. China announced earlier this week that they are reopening 500 to 700 movie theaters. You know, they closed down 70,000 movie theaters in the country of China and South Korea, and they were going to start opening them up. That was really nice. Well, we found out today that the Beijing Film Bureau has decided to reclose all the theaters that they opened up. Such a bummer. Beijing Film Bureau